going, my fellow Homo sapiens? It's your boy, the legendary Hadou, and I'm coming at you with a Gantz E manga review. Gantz E manga chapter 26, The Elite. This and more coming at you next. Alright. So we open up with Hanbi and Masakichi standing on the alien. Hanbi yells out, anyone that can fight, come with us. Anyone that can't fight, stay here. He's trying to rally the troops. He's trying to get more recruitments to come with him to help him and Masakichi take out the rest of these aliens. And then we look at the crowd, and the crowd seems a little bit confused. They're talking to themselves. They're talking among themselves. You got some people like, well, we are still alive. We can still go home. And there's people like, hey, who is this guy? And other guys like, well, they killed those big monsters. Maybe we can listen to them. So we get to a point where we actually start to see two people walk up. We see first person we see, I believe, is the princess, and I kind of already figured the princess was going to come and help, mainly because she's kind of like part of the main. Matter of fact, she's not kind of. She is part of the main cast, you know. So clearly, the princess was going to show up, and she has two Gantz swords in her hand, and she's like, "These good enough?" You know. I'm like, "Yo, okay, this is going to be interesting." And then we have the old man. He walks up to help. And I'm going to be honest, it's always good to have an old guy with you when it comes into Gantz. Now, the old guy reminds me of, I think his name was Yoshikawa, I think it was Yoshikawa from the original Gantz. You had that old guy in the original Gantz. He was so lovable. He was so cool. I mean, the thing about having an old person in Gantz is they're so reliable, they're so respectable, and they're always for the cause. They're old, they know they're going to die soon, so they do everything they can do to really help the group. Okay, Sonny, I guess I'll help. So finally, we have them entering into the temple itself to find the boss alien. And it's this huge open space. Now, it could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. In my personal opinion, I feel like it's somewhat of a bad thing. And the main reason is, if there's a huge open space, when you get ready to fight up against an alien, clearly that alien gonna have a crap ton of trash mobs, a whole bunch of small enemies that's going to also be attacking. So as we're going into the temple, we get a scene of the princess, and she starts to strip down. And you're like, oh yeah, here we go. And she gets dressed. She starts to get dressed in her Gantz suit. And we get a little bit of side boob, a little bit of that fan service. And then she takes her two Gantz swords and she starts to tie them together. And I was like, wow, that's actually interesting. And the main reason I thought it was interesting was I originally thought she was going to take those two swords and dual wield with them. I was really hoping to see like a Gantzer who was going to dual wield with some of the swords since we're in Gantz E. But she ties the two swords together to make like this staff. And I think that's going to be really interesting. And not just that, I kind of have my eye on the princess right now. Not just because she's an attractive character, but I'm really hoping that she's going to be one of those badass characters that's very unique and interesting, especially for one of those little female characters. I mean, you have some pretty cool badass female characters in the original Gantz. I'm hoping that she's going to be that badass character for Gantz E. And I'm really curious how she's going to utilize these two Gantz swords that's been tied into basically like this Gantz staff. So this is going to be very interesting. I'm having very high hopes for her. And then finally, we turn around and we got Hanbi, and he spots the first alien. The alien drops down. This dude is massive. He's chiseled out. He reminds me of like an Ashura. He has like 3 faces. He has multiple arms, and he's standing there all in the flesh. And then Hanbi tells Masakichi, he's like, Masakichi, let's go! And Masakichi's like, hey man, don't tell me what to do. And I kind of like that whole interaction with Masakichi and Hanbi. Hanbi did that a little earlier in the chapter, in the manga chapters, where he's like, Masakichi, let's do this. And Masakichi's like, hey man, don't tell me what to do. You're not my boss. So I really love that interaction. They rushes the boss. They run in, get ready to body this boss. However, this boss is this boss jumps and kicks Hanbi in the face. And I'm like, yo, come on, man. And Hanbi tumbles back. And that's basically the chapter. Now, I'm going to be 100 with you. If I was Hanbi, I would be salty because you got to think of it like this. You run up on a boss, and you take a rusty foot to the face and then the chapter ends, you know, it's like you're not gonna wait till I get up and, you know, redeem myself, you know, that's the end of the chapter. But Hamby takes a hit. Hamby's not out for the count. He just took a rusty foot to the face, and it's time to fight for the next chapter, man. I can't wait to see what's going to happen next. Now, unfortunately, the only thing that's really bothering me with Gantz E right now is that the dub chapters, the English chapters, are taking a lot longer for them to come out. I know the raw chapters have been out for a long time. I think we're up to chapter 29 right now. I try to translate them, but it takes so long to translate this one chapter, I just give up. I'm just like, I'll just wait until someone else translate them. They're so much faster. Doing it by myself and trying to make a video on it, it's time consuming. But I'm waiting on the next one to get dubbed up and translated so I can make another video, because, man, these chapters are on fire, man. I'm loving Gantz E. I think it's really awesome. I hope you're enjoying it also. Please let me know in the comment box below. Please rate, subscribe, comment, and share. It really helps the channel. Thanks for watching. Matane.